Hello everyone, welcome to Beyond the Limb, an IfeanHealth podcast, and today is our pilot episode of the podcast. We'll be talking about prosthetic care, rehabilitation, and the individuals and the patients who are involved in this particular industry. So for us today, the key is to introduce the podcast, talk about why it's important, explain to you why you need to listen to it, and hopefully have you as one of our subscribers before the end of the day. And I am your host, Chijoke Ahamefla. I am the Director of Branding, Marketing, and Sales at IfeanHealth. And joining me today is a very special person. She's the Director of Strategic Partnership and Impact Initiative in IfeanHealth, Mrs. Eva James.
Hello, good to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So for those of you who might be wondering why we are doing this podcast, why is it important that IfeanHealth starts this podcast now, today? Just to give you a general idea, the industry has grown for quite a while, since we've been in the industry since 2014 till roughly 2026. There's a lot we've seen by the amount of patients who have come to us for treatment, by the amount of professionals who actually feed these patients. And one of the key things we've seen is that it requires specialized training and specialized care for each particular patient. So the reason why we're actually doing this podcast is to at least enlighten the outside. They say when you are in an industry, you know your industry, you know how everything is. But people who are outside coming into your industry, typical situation, the patients, new graduates who are leaving school who want to enter into prosthetic and orthotics, do not really know what the industry entails. So just like I said earlier, there's a clear gap in the conversation, particularly in the area of the visibility of the prosthetic industry and the education that is needed to provide for this particular industry. And really, that's what this podcast is here to actually take care of, to provide the information that most people need out there and to ensure that you're informed and you're provided for. Which leads me to why did we want to start this? The real origin behind IfeanHealth, who we are, what we do. And I think no other person is better able to explain that than Mrs. Eva herself. So I leave this to her.
Okay, I hope I'm going to give you the right answer you're looking for. IfeanHealth, who we are, what we do, what makes us unique. So we know we are the number one provider of modern prosthetics and orthotics in Nigeria. And we started this business being number one because we are number one in what we do and in everything we do. So we started actually as component distributors for Ottobock, which is the global leader in prosthetics and the orthotic technology based in Germany. So we started with them as component distributor. That way we get to know almost all the professionals or the CPOs in Nigeria and beyond. And then whereby we also have a deep understanding of prosthetics components. So, and the Ottobock, when we said Ottobock is a number one leader in prosthetics and orthotic technology, like I earlier said. And for them, their product is quality for life. And is quality for life. If you have used Ottobock products, you will believe that it is quality for life. And me talking to you too, of course, I am an advocate to that too, because I use Ottobock and I have noticed and I can testify that it is quality for life. So when we started this business, promoting them and telling people about importance and about how good, how strong, how quality is Ottobock products. But sometimes patients come to us, even though they've been fitted, by other professionals, but because they're having issues, and then they come back, you guys say Ottobock is quality for life, but look, I'm having issues. I got this it's up to 1 month, but I'm already having problem with it. And when we come to check, you find that most of them, maybe 40% of the component they use for their prosthesis is Ottobock, whereas the rest 60% is other technologies. So this becomes somehow disturbing and disheartening, because we can't be promoting Ottobock components and saying it's quality for life, and people coming to give us issue that telling us that it's not quality for life because other people were misusing it and mismanaging it for them. So we decided that it's high time to make Ottobock really, and to show people how good the Ottobock product can be. And that's how we started the fitting aspect of our business. And we didn't just start. Before we started with training. At least we make sure we have a very qualified prosthetist who is the orthoboc trained. With the technology, we started by equipping our workshops. All our workshop, we equip it with orthoboc technology and get our prosthetist to get full trained on how to use orthoboc technology. And then from there, that's bring us to why, at least what makes us special and what makes us unique. Because talking about that, because we started by first gaining ground, knowing about the market, about what they do, about what people want, and about what works for people. So based on that, we have to start our own workshop to make sure people get value for their money. And that's how we come about what makes IfeanHealth unique. So here I will be talking about 5 pillars that make IfeanHealth stand out when you talk about prosthetics and the orthotics. Number 1 is let me start with our facilities. So when we decide that we want to do prosthetic, we want to do this fitting, we start by getting a very well equipped workshop where we have all the products, all the equipment coming from Germany, fully installed at our center. So we started with a center in Enugu, and then we have everything equipped, all the equipment very well installed, and then get our prosthetist trained on how to use the equipment. And with that, that brings us to another pillar of our strength, of our uniqueness, which is the prosthetist and then the training. So we have them all trained. At least all our prosthetists are trained internationally, some in orthoboc and then some in Malaysia. But even those with Malaysia training have also been trained by orthoboc, so that when they are working, they are not working with a guess job, not guessing what they are doing. They are fully certified and they understand what they are doing. And then that's another number 3 of our uniqueness is our facilities. So we have our facilities where we also have inpatient accommodations. And in this accommodation, we call it a self-catering accommodations, where patients can actually make their choice home food, however they want it, unlike the hotels or any other place where they will be, at least they pay and then they will be fed. Maybe, but sometimes to bring the food is not what they want. But here you have a facility, we have in our facilities, you can make your own food. Don't need to, you need just bring your food stuff and then make the food the way, the type, and the time you want it. Then the next one is our geo proximity. We are very close to all our patients. So with our office, the headquarters in Lagos, Enugu, we have our competence center. In Kano, we have 2 offices in Kano at the National Orthopedic Hospital, Dala, and then at our personal center where you can also get fitted at Guazo Street. And then we have another center in Ugeli in Delta State. In Sokoto, we are there. In Kwara, we are there in Ilorin. With all this, patients don't have to travel far from their base to get fitted. So meaning you just come out of your state, you come out of your door, you look left, right, or center, you will see IfeanHealth Center so close to you where you can go and get the same quality treatment, the same you could get elsewhere overseas. And then final, but not the least, is our core team approach. So meaning for every patient that comes to our facilities will be attended not just by a prosthetist that who will fabricate the prosthesis. First, we have a physio who will do, at least get the patient ready for prosthetic fitting by taking care of the stump, making sure the stump is matured, is ready for fitting. And then when that is done, then we have a prosthetist who fabricates the prosthesis. And after that, the physio also take over again in training the patient on gait re-education. And we also have contact of all top surgeons in Nigeria, whereby if there is need for a stump refashioning, they are always handy to help. So with all this, you can believe with me, at least you can see the reason why we say that we are unique and we are number one. Thank you.
So, looking towards the future, what can you expect from this podcast? So, things you should expect are some of our patient stories, particularly with consent, tells you what their journey was from their amputation to their fitting. And some of it can be very, very emotional. Some of it can be very, very touching because some of these patients could not actually afford their prosthesis. Some of them could. But these are things you can look forward. Some educational and inspirational stories as well. You can look forward in insights from our team and from various professionals and patients in the industry talking about how the industry has grown and generally building trust with our audience, particularly because without you, why are we doing this podcast at the end of the day? So that's the key things you should expect from us and from this podcast going forward. As we come to the end of this episode, we want to say a big thank you for being part of this pilot episode. We really look forward to seeing you our subsequent episodes going forward. But a word,
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, IfeanHealth at IfeanHealth Orthopedics.
from all of us at IfeanHealth, we say thank you very much
Thank
for attending
you.
and take care. God bless.